My question for you is about planning ahead and goal setting from a vibrational standpoint. Before I discovered your teachings, I was an avid reader of what I call success books. These are books like Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful People or The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. I know Jerry has mentioned Think and Grow Rich before. These books tend to break down the principles of what successful people do so that you can apply them to your own life. A lot of these books acknowledge the importance of visualizing and allowing to an extent, but they tend to be written also toward the old school way of thinking with the mindset of working hard and never giving up, and other ideas that don't necessarily take vibration into account. Ever since I discovered your teachings, however...
So if you're not taking vibration into account, the title should be 7 Habits of Very Lucky People.
Absolutely. So basically, since I've discovered law of attraction in your teachings, which as soon as I, attracted you into my life, I viscerally knew that this was all true. I've been confused about how to merge some of what I've learned before with these success.
Well, let's start with what you first mentioned. This is very important, goal setting. So we would like to explain that the contrast causes you to set goals all day, every day. Because when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So you are vibrationally setting forth those requests, or you could call them goals, all day, every day. When you visualize or write affirmations or script or try to imagine, as many of these books that you've talked about encourage you to do, that's not really the goal setting, because the goal setting, from our point of view, the goal setting happened in step 1. That's when you ask. Everything else that we write about, every process we offer, and we are eternal spewers of processes, every process we offer is to assist you with step 3. In other words, step 1 causes you to set the goal. Not only does step 1 cause you to set the goal, step 1 causes you to set a goal that step 2 embraces. In other words, the larger part of you has not only set that goal, the larger part of you has become it. The question is, what are you doing to close that gap? So whether you are goal setting, in other words, when you are talking about what you want and why you want it, when you're thinking about when it will come and how it will come, often the reason that so many people have trouble with that is because when they try to get specific about things that they don't understand, they offer more contradictory vibration than they do complementary vibration. So we would say, if goal setting makes you feel good, then it's the right approach. If the affirmation you're speaking fills you up with a feeling of at oneness, then it's a really good affirmation. But if your affirmation just reminds you that something you've been asking for a long time still hasn't happened, the affirmation is not a productive affirmation. So you can't just go through the motions of goal setting and affirmations and scripting and positive thinking. You can't go through those motions without using your gut to tell you what that process or what that effort is accomplishing in terms of energy. There are a lot of people that frankly just try too darn hard. In other words, life has caused them to ask, and they're so aware that they're not where they want to be that they just try and try and try. And here's the best thing that we can say about this brilliant question that you're offering here. Since there are 3 steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, you're tired of hearing about it, but we are going to keep telling you about it because that's the process of all creation. Since there are 3 steps, so often when you're goal setting and when you're affirming, without meaning to, you're holding yourself in the step 1 phase. In other words, it's like, because this thing that I want hasn't come, then I need to ask for it more. It's like, I'll keep asking, I'll keep saying I want it, I'll keep talking about wanting it. And what you do when you stay active in step 1, you can't allow step 3, because step 1, which is the question, is a very different vibration than step 3, which is the answer. So what we would say to you is, for the most part, when we see people set goals, it backfires because they put a timeline on something they want that hasn't happened, and then they feel anxious as they watch the time tick by. So the timeline didn't serve them. Instead, it contradicted their vibration. Where if you could play the wouldn't it be nice if game, won't it be nice when that happens? What we want you to do is find some way of feeling satisfied with what is and eager for more. That's the best vibrational stance that you could find. And in fact, when you think about it, if you're asking from a place of not having something you want, so the not having it is really active in your vibration, so much so that you're setting goals about it and talking about it, but you keep feeling like you don't have it. If the things you're doing are aggravating your awareness that you don't have something you want, then they're not helping. You want to do things that aggravate your sense of becoming, that aggravate your sense of things going the way you want them to go. These processes are neither good nor bad. It's the application of them and how they make you feel while you do them. We've watched even Esther, who has diligently, and that's not a word that we are eager to tell you, diligently offered every process before we've ever revealed it to you. We always give it to Esther first, and she plays with it and finds the results of it. But when she's diligently applying, when she's diligently after it, we say, easy there, back off just a little bit. Don't make so much of this. Let's let this be fun. Let's let this be a game. This is a game to soften your resistance. This isn't a game to help you get from where you don't want to be to where you do want to be, because when you start playing games that get you from where you don't want to be to where you do want to be, you can't help but activate where you don't want to be. It becomes a much too big of player in your vibration. So goal setting is lovely, but let your goals be general. Feel the difference between saying, I want $100,000 more next year than this year. In fact, I need it by Friday. And saying, next year will be a more prosperous year for me than this year. Feel the difference in the way it fits. Now, if you feel desperate, if you need it, then you've got to do something to soften that desperation, because a feeling of desperation about not having enough money won't let the money in. You're tensed against it. So you have to find a way of softening it. So you say, well, I'll set a goal. I'll set a goal. Set a goal. I'll set a goal. I am determined. I'll set a goal. I'll set a goal. And we say, it'd be better if you just back off a little bit and talk about how well things are going. Things aren't going well, and that's why I'm setting a goal. Well, but talk about what is working. Does anything ever work? No, nothing works for me. That's why I set goals. Well, just relax and talk about what is working. Is anything working? Well, some things have worked. Some things have worked, and things do generally get better for me. And I'm looking forward to things getting better for me. And won't it be nice when things do get better? And the reason I want more money is because I'm looking forward to releasing this tension. And I'm looking for a little more to come in, and I'm doing a little better job of managing what's going out. And all in all, I'm managing my way, and lots of things are going well in my life. And it is getting gradually better, and I expect it to get better and better still. And I'm really looking forward to it really getting better. And there are a lot of things that I'm really looking forward to doing that I can't do right now, but it doesn't matter because I'm hopeful about it, and I know that it will get better, and I'm doing more things now than I was doing even a year ago, so I am beginning to see progress, and I do feel better just having this little conversation with myself. I can feel that I'm not trying so hard right now. I have released some tension, and if Abraham is right, and they say they are, then this releasing of tension has to be a good thing for me. And so I think that this moment in time, I've done something good. I've released a little resistance. I don't feel as tense, but I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to set a goal by Wednesday, no, by Thursday, by Friday, at least by next week. I have to have that money. And all of a sudden, if setting the goal brought the tension back to you, you can feel it moved you in the wrong direction. The name of the game is the art of allowing. The art of allowing is allowing myself to enter the vortex, allowing myself to close the gap. Allowing what? Allowing complementary vibration between who I really am and what I really want and who I'm being in this moment. Read every book you can read and follow every process you can follow, but pay attention to how everything you do makes you feel. That's why no one book or no one process is the right thing for every person at every time. In the Ask and It Is Given book, we laid out all of the emotions that you might be feeling along your emotional scale. And if you're feeling revenge, there are a whole lot of processes in that book that will make you feel worse, not better. If you're feeling hopeful, every process in the book will be of advantage to you. In other words, there are some processes that will aggravate your resistance, and there are some processes that will soften your resistance. So the first thing you got to do is figure out where you are in relationship to where you want to be. Processes are good. Overdoing them isn't good, because when you overdo processes, what's the underlying thing? I'm not doing well. I need to work really hard. I'm far from where I want to be. Listen to yourselves when you say, oh yeah, I sort of want that, and I really, 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 really want that. Well, the things you really, really, really want, usually you're really, really, really practicing really, really big thoughts that really, really, really hold you in really, really resistance to what you really, really want. Give it a break. Give it a break. Step 1 happened. Step 2 happened. Chill out. Be easy. So here's the difference between I'm going to relax and I'm going to set a goal. You've set the goals. You set the goals incrementally. Now allow the goals. This is a goal-allowing process. How can I allow what I'm asking for to be? Get a little happy. Be a little optimistic. Can't be optimistic. I've wanted it forever and it hasn't come. Then let it go. Let it go. If you've been struggling with something for a long time and it hasn't come, something's not right in your vibration. Let it go. Focus upon what is working. You could have 10 things you want. 9 of them not happening. 1 of them sort of kind of happening. If you'd focus on the one that's sort of kind of happening and use it as your object of attention, so you're offering your vibration mostly about the one that's sort of kind of happening, you'd stop resisting the other, and now all 10 of them would sort of kind of happen. Now, some of them are really happening. Don't focus upon the ones that haven't started happening. Focus upon the things that are going well. Use that as your excuse to tune yourself into vibrational alignment with what's in your escrow. Then all 10 of them have to happen. But you are problem solvers. You can have a life going really well. You find that one thing that's not going well and you give it your undivided attention and you use that thing as your excuse to slow everything down. Find things to use as your excuse to speed things up.
So basically,
we would have one goal if we were standing in your physical shoes, to feel better than I do right now. Our goal would be, I want to be on the brink of appreciation. That's my goal. I want to be on the brink of appreciation, which means I want to be constantly in the vicinity of hopefulness, which means I want to be a optimistic, leaning person. I'm making the best of things where they are person. What people are hearing from me is not what I'm worried about. They're hearing what I'm looking forward to experiencing. I love the world tuning into this. I love knowing that people are feeling better. I love knowing that diseases are becoming less. I love knowing that prosperity is beginning to come on strong. I love imagining what's in the vibrational escrow for mankind. I love knowing the prosperity that mankind has amassed. I love seeing individuals all over the planet getting the hang of this and allowing their abundance to flow. I love watching the prosperity level of all rising. I love feeling better most of the time. I love my friends. I love the people that I work with. I love the freeway system in this nation. I love the vehicles. I love the technology. I love my computer. I love the internet. I love the media. I love the media. I love the well-being of this planet. I love knowing that all is well. I love feeling the essence of who I am flowing. I love being in this body. I love living life. I love the contrast and what it provides. I love my guidance system that lets me know where I am in relationship to what I've asked for. I love recognizing that I've got negative emotion. I love finding thoughts that feel better. I love the feeling of relief. I love turning and going with the flow. I love living life. I love being a deliberate creator. I love being here in physical form. I love being an opportunity for others to observe well-being. I love being an uplifter. I love being tuned in, tapped in, turned on. I love the contrast. I love sometimes being hungry so that food tastes so good. And I love sometimes not allowing for the thrill of when I allow. I love the feeling of knowing what to do, even when I'm not doing it. I love knowing that I know what to do, even when I'm not doing it. I love knowing that well-being is the order of this universe. I love knowing that well-being flows and is predominant. I love knowing that I'm a non-physical energy and that part of me is here, and I love knowing the source is always aware of me, not just aware of me, full of me, within me, calling me. I love my guidance system that lets me feel the call of source. I love feeling that negative emotion that is my tugging that lets me know I'm not going. I love being in control of my experience. I love giving up control of others. I love letting go of all things that have nothing to do with me, which includes everything except my thought and my word and my action. I love guiding myself more expressly. I love these processes that people offer. I love these wonderful books and the effort that so many people are offering. I love these teachers of well-being that are wanting to provide an example of upliftment. I appreciate so much that there are so many things for us to dip our toe into to experience. I love being alive. I love the contrast. I love my guidance. I love closing the gap. I love widening the gap because then it makes closing the gap feel so good. I love life. I love being alive. I love it all. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.